Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be doing a little bit different of a video. I know I've been doing a lot of just kind of Fortnite wins with, most of them been with Kickster. I think actually all of them been with Kickster. So I decided I wanted to change that up a little bit and in fact give some tips and tricks that I've learned over the past few weeks. I've been doing a lot of studying up on different ways to just get better at Fortnite mainly. So here's some tips and tricks for you guys to help you with your Fortnite gameplay.
Yo, I ain't here for the money, I ain't here for the fame. Though it might be nice to own a jet plane, I'ma do it all for you. Come along and see it's true, but the world is pretty cold. You might need a sweater too. I'ma put a ride on ya.
So guys, first off, as always, I know everyone always says this, but practice makes perfect. Practice is probably the most important aspect of this, and you'll hear a lot of big streamers. I've heard Tifu, Ninja, Nick A30, Tim the Tapman, etc., etc. I've heard them all. They always say practice makes perfect. They always say don't play the game to win, play it for kills. So you're gonna want to go into, you know, high drop rate, places that have a higher drop rate. Go there and just go for kills. If you die, you die. That you got to get over your nerves, and you have to get over that feeling of that you're not confident enough, you know. So there's these big aspects, and one of them is you're nervous. In these fights, you'll start shaking a lot of times. Personally, I start shaking at the end game a lot, or like you'll miss a shot because you overcorrect your aim or something like that. That's all muscle memory, and the best way to train that is to practice and just go into these fights as much as you can. Secondly, there are some training websites and games that can help depending on what type of gameplay you have, and I would suggest them. They've helped me quite a bit in some things. Some of them are better than others, some of them are, you know, not quite as good. The first one I have for you guys is called 3D Aim Trainer, and you can just type this, it'll be in the description, this website right here. Just type 3daimtrainer.com. It'll bring you to this website, and you can just click start training. And they have the flick and reflex and then tracking. I suggest tracking the most. I highly suggest that. And you're gonna want to go into your, you know, advanced, pick the game. It'll be Fortnite, and then your hip fire sensitivity, field of view, all this stuff you can change depending on what's your preference. And the Windows pointer speed, I just want to say, just a quick something I took me a little while to learn is 1 is very high sensitivity and 11 is the lower sensitivity, just so you guys know. So you guys can pick this. I'm going to go with 10 real quick, and I'm going to show you how it works. I'm going to leave everything else as default for now. This is probably one of the lower end 3D or aiming trainers, although it does have its benefits, and I do like it for some things. So I suggest it as a beginning one. You could start with this one, I'd say, and then move on to some little bit better ones. I guess take it for a minute. Once it's loaded, we'll be right back. Alright, and once you load in, I'm finally loading, it says full screen is required. So you're going to want to come here and just, alright. This is going to help your tracking. It's really hard. And you'll see your score up in the top left corner. I'm really bad at the game on. This is not my sensitivity. So anyways, yeah, you'll see it'll give you this gun. I don't know if you can change the gun. Yeah, okay, so your score is how long you can keep your mouse on it. So you don't have to actually shoot, but see, every time it turns green. So yeah, that's about how this game, or this one, works. You can do the other version of it, which is the training, the flick and reflex. That one is the one I usually end up doing. But I highly suggest the tracking one because that's probably one of the major parts. But the flick and reflex is also very good because the next aiming trainer I have for you guys is about the same as the tracking one for this. So the flick and reflex plus the other one that I'm about to show you is really good. So my second one is would be this website. It's called aimtrackerheroqapp.com. So that'll also be in the description. It'll bring you to this little website here, and all you gotta do is come down here. You can change it to medium, hard, easy, whatever you prefer. You can have that so you have to hold down your mouse while tracking. And then if you want custom, you can change the difficulty, the size of the ball, so it gets really small there, and now it's really big, and the speed. It can go really fast, and then once you click down on it, it'll start moving, and you just have to try and keep your mouse on it. So right now it's really fast, and then you can slow it really far down, and then, so you know, it's really nice because you can really change your difficulty, and it's actually really helpful. So once I suggest starting with the biggest, probably the easiest settings, and once you're really good at it, then you can start moving up. You can maybe start like speed 3 or something, make it a little bit harder. So yeah, this is probably my favorite tracking way to do it. Tracking aimer, what a trainer! Oh my goodness, I cannot talk. So yeah, I highly suggest this one as well, and that's my last free one. So next up we have a Steam game called Kovacs FPS Aim Trainer. This one is probably the highest, this is probably the best one that you can find. It's not free, it's $10, but if you look up in Steam Kovacs FPS Aim Trainer, you'll find it. I don't know, if you guys want to spend money on it, that's up to you, you can. That's alright, you can use the 2 free ones I gave you, but it's extremely good. As you can see in this video, it really helps with, that one helps with your pre-firing and your guessing where the pigeon will be. It's, you can see how the moving of the bots, and it's really good. If you move farther, the video's got shotgun, so yeah, it's got basically everything you could want in it. It trains you in basically everything. So it's probably I recommend this more than any of the other ones. The only problem is it's not free. So if you're willing to spend $10 on the game, then go for it. This will definitely help you train. So those are the outside of Fortnite, the ways that you can train your aim. Now let's go into your Fortnite settings, and we can do some little tweaking there. While I'm starting this up, just a real quick tip for those of you who don't have a good FPS or anything like that. I would suggest installing set timer resolution, as well as MSI afterburn and MSI combustor. Combustor should come with afterburn. But yeah, I would suggest this is what MSI afterburn is. It's over GPU overclock. It'll make your game run so much smoother. It is risky though because it will impact your computers. You're gonna need to look up some tutorial videos on that. I might do one if the comments so ask. But yeah. So I'll show you. I'll see you guys when we get it. Okay. Alright, now once you're in your Fortnite settings, you're going to want to be in the, you're going to want to go to your game settings here, and you're going to want to configure your mouse sensitivity in the actual game. This will vary according to what your mouse is. In fact, you're going to want, you can't have yours exactly the same as a big Fortnite streamer or mine or anything like that. It varies according to your game style, however you play, and how sensitive, what the DPI is on your mouse. If you don't know what DPI is, that's In English, that is basically how fast your mouse moves. So my DPI is currently, I believe, 1100. So I have this, and it's sorry, 1950. So it's 1950. That goes according with my mouse sensitivity in the game. If I were to raise it on my mouse, I would lower it in the game. So right now I have 1950 as a DPI on my mouse, and then I have my mouse sensitivity in game for X and Y at 84 and 85 around. Controller sensitivity doesn't matter for me. Mouse targeting sensitivity, I actually have not ever changed that. Around 600 has always worked for me. And then around 400 for your scope is really good. For my sensitivity has been really good. So I don't know what you guys are planning on, but this all depends on what DPI you have in your mouse and how sensitive you like it. Because you might like building on a high sensitivity, and that could change your aim. The lower the sensitivity, generally, the better your aim will be, because it's very hard to aim when your mouse is moving super fast. So, and then at the same time, you do not want your mouse sensitivity to be too low, because if it's too low, then you have a problem and you can't move fast enough. So there's a good middle ground. It's going to take some time if you don't already have that set up. It's going to take some time to figure that out. And I highly suggest, if you're just playing on default settings, take the time to figure it out. Another just little tip right now is set your HUD scale down low. I have mine on about 75, which is really good right there. Takes up less room on your screen. Alright, and then you're going to want to, your next settings after you have finished all this up, you're going to want to go, and if you like invert view, I hate it honestly. I suggest not doing it. Yeah, I wouldn't do that. But yeah, so once you that does affect your aim, by the way, inverted view, which I bring it up. So toggle targeting is basically what it says here. It says targeting on toggle. I would keep that off if it is on. I'd take that off. Aim assist, you really do need to have that on. If I were you, I would keep that on. It's kind of important. And then why is that on? That's about it for these settings. And then alright, so that's about it for those settings. The second part to aiming is something that people don't usually think about, is FPS. Your frames per second are very important. Your frames per second are very important to how you play, how good of an aim you are. If you're having frames, let's say I put this all up to epic, I'm gonna get 50 frames in here. That's really bad. 60 is an okay amount. That's almost 60, so it's like you could live with that, but personally I would not use that. Shadow should be on. Right. You're gonna want a lot, the most FPS that you can get, and the way I do that is I have my view distance to near, and I used to have it at epic, and I could get pretty good frames. If I have it at epic, it's about the same. It fluctuates a little bit more, but in game it'll fluctuate even more. The reason I have it on near though is it actually gives you an advantage on seeing your enemies, because it does not affect how far you can see your enemies from. It affects how far bushes and trees and stuff like that loads in. So you will actually be able to see your enemies from farther away. If they're hiding behind a tree or something, you won't be able to see them because the tree is not loaded in. Of course, if you shoot at the tree and you don't see it, then well, there's that. But if you see someone crouching behind a tree, I'm sure you'll think about that. And then shadows, I suggest it's off. This will make your FPS so much better. Keeping it off. I don't know why I don't want to put shadows on. It just makes it hard to see anyone. Anti-alias, on or off. I would not go above high. The only reason I have it on high is I was testing something. I usually keep it off or medium. Textures, I keep on. It just gives a little bit more, I keep it on medium. It gives the players a little bit more of an edge. Makes it easier to see them. It will affect your FPS, the higher you put it. It will change it quite a bit. I keep effects on medium because it makes it so you can actually see where the bullets come from. But it's not necessary to put it any higher than that. And post-processing, not important. Really lowers your FPS. VSync. I'm not even going to get into what VSync is. All I'm going to say is it's something that they tried to do. A lot of games have, and with Fortnite, it'll make your mouse basically go, when you move your mouse from here to here, it'll be like you move your mouse and then it moves. It'll have a big delay on it. It's horrible. That'll really affect your aim. Keep that off. If it's on, turn it off. Motion blur, really it makes the game look bad and it takes a ton of FPS. Keep that off. And if you don't know what your FPS is, you can switch show FPS to on. Alright, so now that you've applied all those settings, the last thing I have for you guys, one of the biggest things, is your ping. If you do not have good ping, you will shoot your bullet, and say you have 100 ping and your enemy has 40. That means that there is a 60 millisecond difference between you and that player, which means they have 60 milliseconds to move out of the way of that bullet. So that means you're going to have to aim a little bit in front of them each time, which will mess up your aim every time. It'll make it extremely hard. Shotgun shots will not land on the head a lot of times. I have this problem because I will ping up to 100, past 100 sometimes, if I have a lot of people on my Wi-Fi. So it is extremely important that you have the right server. Don't be in, auto is good, or you find the one that's just closest. I have NA West right now because that's my closest servers, somewhere in California, on the other side of California is where it is. So that's the closest one for me. If you have bad ping, I will get bad ping sometimes, which will go up to 100 here, which means in-game is like twice that. I will be making a video on how to, for PC, on how to optimize your Wi-Fi. Just some tips and tricks that I've learned. It has not made my ping amazing, but it has definitely improved it. So if you want to see that, stay tuned, click on the bell, subscribe, and leave a like. So thank you guys for watching this video. If these tips and tricks don't help, I'm extremely sorry. My biggest tip and trick for you guys is just sincerely just to forget about the wins. Forget about what people think about how many wins you have. It's not important. You'll get those all back when you are an extremely good player by your aim. Seriously, you'll be able to beat all your friends once you have good aim. So what I say is forget all that. Don't worry about wins. Go for kills. Drop the places where you'll be pressured with a lot of people, and you'll be under pressure. You'll be sweating. You'll be shaking. Get those nerves out of the way. That's the biggest aspect of this. If you're nervous and you're shaking, your aim is going to be everywhere. It happens to me all the time. So get that out of the way. Get used to the pressure of the game, and then you'll do extremely better. Those aiming websites, they will help, but they do not simulate how the gameplay feels in-game. So in-game, it will change it'll be extremely different just because of the mere desire to not go back to the lobby. So get the fear, anxiety, and stress out of there. Get used to the game, and then boom, you'll instantly become that much better. Thanks for watching, guys. I will see you guys next time.